Hi there, this is Paige with Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. I have quite a few videos going up today, so I hope you'll be able to take some time and watch each of them. This one is new project, same paper collaboration that I'm doing with Deb Hauk. But also going up today, I have Canned Pumpkin, which is a collab I'm doing with Linda Kaufman. I have a color collab that I'm doing with Candy and Fran. I have Pinspiration collaboration that's hosted by Creations by Kimber, and I also have some cards for the Great American Stash Bash, which is hosted by Heather's Handmade Haven. But you are here and watching new project, same paper collaboration. This is the paper pad I'm working my way through. It's called Flea Market, and it's from Colorbach. I think that I got this in a D-stash, and when I originally started it had 22 pages, and now I'm down to just a few. I have some of my absolute favorites left to use. This one has some glossy finish to some of the roses, so I've got 2 sheets of that. They're double-sided, which is nice. This is absolutely my most favorite paper. I don't know why, but I am just in love with this paper. So I've got one of those left. This is another paper that I just adore. It's so cute. Not sure how I'm going to use that. And then this is another one that I really like. Just some little flowers with little berries attached to them in different colors. So that's what I have left, and hopefully by the time March comes around and I show another video, this paper pad will be used up. But let me show you what I made during the month to share with you. I also have quite a few scraps left, and some are small, but some are still good size, card front size, so I'll be making other projects with the scraps as well. Now I have spent some time watching some older videos on envelope flip books. I don't know what got me going on that, but I decided envelope flip books is a project I wanted to work on. And so I found quite a few. I'm not sure which video this idea comes from, but I had these craft colored envelopes in my stash, and I believe I had 14 of them or 15 of them because I cut one apart for a template, and I used up all of these envelopes, so I'm pretty excited about that. Now for this particular one, this embellishment I made a few years ago in another collab that I was in, and I made these little layered tags, and then I put them away and forgot about them. Well, this month in February I've been working with bird themed items, and so I remembered these tags because these were actually what inspired me to make a project for Beth's Use It Up challenge. So those were some embellishments that I made earlier. So anyway, I found a use for these tags. I put them on the front of my little envelope flips. They're not really flips. Nothing's flipping except it's opening up. But I'm going to call these friendship folders. And the reason I'm doing that is I'll show you. So 2 envelopes went together to form this. And then I just took different patterns of paper from the paper pad and just did some layering. This is where I cut one of the envelopes up so I could use it as a template to get this shape right here for layering and the shape that goes inside. So anyway, there's a pocket here and there's a pocket over here. And after I had all the folders done, I had a lot of scraps left over. So my idea was I made some A2 size cards, matched them up with some smaller craft colored envelopes. And my thought is to tuck this card in here to send to somebody. It's a card that they can use. And then on this side, I will tuck in either a note that I wrote or write in a card that I've made in the past on this side. So they'll have a card for themselves to read and a card for themselves to use as they wish. So that's why I'm calling them friendship folders. So then I've got this one right here. There's the back. And then for the insides, I tried to coordinate the card that I'm making and sending with the front of the folder. So they all have the same thing on the inside, which is a scrap of pattern paper. Sometimes the scrap will go this way and sometimes the scrap will go that way. And then they all have the sentiment, think happy thoughts. And actually the design of all the cards is the same. It is a sheet load template from Alicia, who is Call Me Crafty Al. And I'm trying to remember, it is from August 2019, except I just flipped it portrait style rather than landscape. So, and this one will get tucked in here. And then I've got this one right here. I put a doily behind here because it was kind of dark. It needed something for contrast. Here's the back side. And here is the card that goes with this one. So I really like how these turned out. It was a fun project to make, and I know that I'll be doing this idea again. Here is a doily from Stampin' Up! I believe I got it on the clearance section on the Stampin' Up! Website. And I just cut it in half and put one towards the top and one towards the bottom. There's the back side. And then here is the card that goes with this one. Here's another one where I used a doily on the background. There's the back side. And here's the card that goes on the inside. So I don't know, but I don't anticipate I'll be doing any decorating on these two sections, only because I want to keep it as flat as possible. Now here's where I used my most favorite paper. And you'd think it would be hard for me to cut it up, but it wasn't. I was so excited about this project that I didn't have any trouble cutting into my favorite piece of paper. And in my stash, I had these metal rim tags. I had some in flowers, and I had some in birds, and some in just generic shapes. But I had this one that was the red and blue, just like the paper, and I was just like, whoa, I'm so excited, it'll coordinate. So I pulled out some braided trim. This is from Stampin' Up! It either came in a card kit or a Paper Pumpkin card kit or something, but I had some left over, and it was perfect for tying around the bird, because it is a little tag, and so I just wove it in and out of that little hole where the string was and then tied a bow. This is popped up with dimensionals, and then I had one burlap doily left in my stash. And so I cut it in half. I sponged a little bit of gathered twigs on there just to darken it up a little bit against the background paper. And then I thought it looked like a little nest. And then I had some burlap trim that I put across the top, and then added some red flat back pearls to the top. Here's the back side, and here is the card that I made to go inside. And then I have two of them. So the only difference is the burlap trim at the top. I didn't have enough to make two using this, and I didn't have enough to make two using that design, so I just did one of each. But here is the card that goes inside of this one. Now the reason I put the trim on is because When I pulled out some of the sheets of paper, they tore off at the perforation line, and other sheets pulled off at the top of the pad. And so I decided just to go ahead and use that portion up there. And I just left that little perforation part just kind of as a design element. But when I made these two cards, I thought I would cover them up. They just needed something a little extra, and so I just covered up that perforation part with this burlap trim. But these are my little friendship folders. I was able to make 7 of them, and I made 7 cards to go inside, 1 for each. And there is my project. I'd like to thank you for joining me. Down below I'll link to Deb's channel and other people who are joining us in this collaboration. So I hope you'll check them out and check out their papers, or excuse me, their projects from the paper pad they chose to work their way through. And now I'm off to create.